Today we are jumping into a world of flowers that honestly look like they came straight out of a fantasy movie. These are not the basic garden blooms you see at the store every week. Each plant in this list has wild colors, shapes or patterns that make people stop and stare. Some of them only bloom once a year, and when they do, the show barely lasts a few days. A few are so rare that collectors will wait years just to see a single flower open. What makes them even cooler is that many of these unreal-looking plants can actually be grown at home with the right care. So if you love jaw-dropping plants and want your home to feel like a secret botanical lab, you are in the right place. Let us dive into 12 rare flowering plants that do not look real at all. SunPatiens look unreal because they bloom non-stop with huge neon flowers that can be over 4 inches wide and stay bright even in brutal summer heat. These plants were bred to handle full sun where most impatiens would completely melt, and they can grow almost 3 feet tall in a single season, which makes them feel more like flowering bushes than houseplants. One plant can easily produce dozens of blooms at the same time, so it never looks tired or empty. They thrive in temperatures above 85 degrees and still keep pushing color when other flowers shut down. What really blows people away is how fast they grow, because in warm weather they can stretch several inches in just a week. They also recover quickly from stress, so even if you forget to water once, they bounce back without drama. Gardeners love them because they resist downy mildew, which wiped out regular impatiens for years. With bright light, steady moisture and rich soil, this plant turns any dull space into a wall of glowing color that honestly looks too perfect to be real. Million Bells look unreal because each tiny plant can pump out hundreds of trumpet-shaped flowers that completely cover the leaves like a living bouquet. The blooms may be small, but the colors are insanely intense, with hot pinks, deep purples, neon yellows and even two-tone patterns that look painted on. A healthy plant can easily trail 2 feet long, which makes it perfect for hanging baskets that explode with color from top to bottom. What makes them special is how long they flower, because with enough sun they can bloom from early spring all the way until the first frost. They also handle heat better than most petunias and keep their shape instead of getting leggy or messy. With regular watering and light feeding, this plant just keeps going like it has unlimited energy. People often think they are fake at first because no one expects a real plant to look that full and bright for months on end. Black-eyed Susan looks unreal because those bold golden petals with the deep dark center create a contrast that feels more like a graphic logo than a real flower. Each bloom can stretch up to 3 inches wide, and a single plant can throw out dozens of flowers at the same time, so it always looks like it is in full celebration mode. These plants are crazy tough and can survive drought, heat and poor soil, which is why they come back stronger every year. They attract bees and butterflies like magnets, which turns any garden into a living pollinator zone. What really surprises people is how long they bloom, because many varieties keep flowering for 8 to 10 weeks straight without slowing down. Give them sun, well-drained soil and occasional watering, and they reward you with non-stop color that looks too bold to belong in nature. Coneflower looks unreal because the petals stretch outward and then drop down around a bold spiky center that almost looks like it was designed by an artist, not grown in dirt. These flowers can reach up to 4 inches wide and stand tall on sturdy stems that often grow 3 to 4 feet high, which makes them pop from across the yard. They're insanely tough and can handle drought, poor soil and blazing sun without losing their shape or color. One plant can keep blooming for nearly 3 months straight, especially if you trim off the old flowers. Butterflies love them, and birds later snack on the seed heads, which keeps your garden alive with movement. With full sun and light watering, this plant gives you a wild, futuristic look that still feels effortless to grow. Blanket flower looks unreal because every bloom is splashed with fiery red, orange and yellow tones that feel more like a sunset than a flower. The petals often fade from deep red in the center to bright gold on the tips, which makes each blossom look hand-painted. These plants bloom non-stop through the hottest months of summer when most flowers give up. A single plant can easily carry 20 to 30 blooms at one time, so it always looks full and alive. They are built for rough conditions and thrive in dry soil, heat and full sun without needing much attention. Even better, they can keep flowering for up to 4 months straight, which is why they are a favorite for low-effort color that still feels unreal. Peony looks unreal because each flower opens into a massive cloud of soft layered petals that can be 6 to 8 inches wide and feel almost too perfect to be natural. When they bloom, the scent alone can fill an entire garden, and one healthy plant can live for over 50 years, blooming every spring like clockwork. The buds start tight like marbles and then explode into full flowers in just a few days, which makes the transformation feel magical. They thrive in cooler climates and actually need winter chill to bloom well, which surprises a lot of people. With rich soil, good drainage and steady watering, peonies reward you with some of the most dramatic flowers you will ever see in real life. Chrysanthemum looks unreal because each plant turns into a perfect dome of color, packed with hundreds of tiny flowers that open at the same time. Some varieties can carry over 500 blooms on one plant, which makes it look more like a flower sculpture than something grown in soil. They come in crazy shapes too, from spider-like petals to tight pom-pom balls that feel almost artificial. These plants are famous for blooming in fall when most gardens are fading, which makes them stand out even more. With bright light, steady watering and well-drained soil, they explode into color right when you need it most. Madagascar periwinkle looks unreal because it keeps throwing out bright glossy flowers even in extreme heat where most plants shut down. Each bloom pops with crisp white, pink or purple tones and a bold eye in the center that looks perfectly printed. One plant can stay in flower for nearly 6 months straight, which is why it is so popular in tropical landscapes. It is also incredibly drought tolerant and can survive with very little water once established. What surprises most people is how fast it grows, because in warm weather it can spread wide and fill empty spaces in just a few weeks. Give it full sunlight, soil and good drainage and it rewards you with non-stop color that feels almost impossible for a real plant. CELOSIA looks unreal because the flowers twist into wild flame shapes or soft velvety crests that feel more like coral than a plant. The colors are insanely bold too, with hot pink, fire red, deep orange and electric yellow that stay bright for months without fading. These blooms can easily grow a foot tall and hold their shape even in strong summer heat. A single plant can keep flowering from early summer all the way into fall, which gives you a crazy long color season. They also dry beautifully, so the same flowers can be saved for decor long after the plant is done blooming. With full sunlight, watering and well-drained soil, CELOSIA gives you a futuristic look that never feels real. DAYLILY looks unreal because each flower opens into a perfect trumpet with smooth curved petals that glow in rich yellows, oranges, reds and even deep purples. Even though every bloom only lasts a single day, one healthy plant can push out hundreds of buds in a season, so it never looks empty. Some varieties can produce more than 20 flower stalks from one clump, which is why they feel endless. They handle heat, cold, drought and poor soil better than most flowering plants, which makes them almost impossible to kill. With some basic watering and simple garden soil, daylilies create a non-stop parade of color that feels way too easy for how good it looks. DELPHINIUM looks unreal because the flowers stack upward in tall towers that can stretch 5 to 6 feet high and completely steal the show in any garden. The blooms line up like tiny faces in shades of electric blue, purple, soft pink and pure white, which are colors you rarely see in nature. One single spike can hold more than 50 flowers at once, so it feels more like a floral skyscraper than a plant. They prefer cooler weather and reward you with their best color in late spring and early summer. With rich soil, good drainage and steady watering, delphiniums turn any space into something that feels straight out of a fairy tale. Dahlia looks unreal because the blooms open into perfect geometric patterns with layer after layer of sharp, clean petals that almost look carved by hand. Some dinner plate varieties can grow over 10 inches wide, which makes a single flower bigger than most people's hands. The color range is insane too, from deep wine red and velvet purple to soft peach, neon pink and creamy white. These plants keep blooming from midsummer all the way until the first frost, which can mean 4 full months of non-stop flowers. With full sun-rich soil and regular watering, dahlias turn any garden into a high-end flower show that does not look natural at all. These rare flowering plants prove that nature can be just as wild as anything we imagine, and sometimes even more unreal than a movie set. If even one of these flowers made you stop and stare, then imagine how insane your space would look with a few of them blooming together. Try adding just one to your home or garden this season and watch how fast it changes the whole vibe. If you enjoyed this list, make sure to like the video, share it with another plant lover and subscribe so you never miss the next collection of unreal plants.